Yahya Sinwar is dead. He was killed in Rafah.
And the United States, Israel, and the entire world are better off as a result.
We begin tonight here with the breaking news. Israeli forces have killed the mastermind of the October 7th terror attack, the head of Hamas, Yahya Sinwar.
Israel says it has killed the leader of Hamas.
But that he was actually fighting above ground, and that's going to, I think, become more of a, martyr topic.
Reveal a stark distinction.
World's one of the top wanted men, ex-Hamas chief Yahya Sinwar, the man who eluded the world's best intelligence agency, MOSSAD, even with the help of the world's superpower, the USA, for a year, has always advocated for military resistance against Israel. He even said, "What is better than a death-fighting occupation, injustice, and evil?"
إننا إن كنا نخشى الموت فنحن نخشى الموت على فراشنا كما يموت البعير، لكننا لا نخشى أن نقتل في سبيل ديننا وفي سبيل وطننا وفي سبيل مقدساتنا، ودماؤنا وأرواحنا ليست أغلى من دماء وأرواح أصغر شهيد قدم روحه غالية في سبيل.
Sinwar has been among the few top leaders with immense popularity among the masses in Gaza. He has always advocated for a separate state that is self-sufficient to defend itself against Israel. As he assumed the top post in the organization after the assassination of his former colleague and friend, Ismail Haniya, by Israel in Tehran, Sinwar became the topmost priority for Israel. Even Israel's top leadership started calling him the dead man walking. The ghost of Sinwar continued to haunt MOSSAD and Shin Bet spy agencies, who were desperately looking for clues on Sinwar's whereabouts.
Sinwar, one more time, has failed the Israelis. He has failed their intelligence. They couldn't get to him. He, not only on the 7th of October, but during the whole last year, and they admit that. And he fought. He was courageous, and he was not a coward, as they claim.
The leader of the Palestinian movement Hamas, Yahya Sinwar, had been fighting against the Israeli military in the Gaza Strip for 18 days before his death, as he did not want to stay out of the battlefield. A Turkish newspaper has reported, citing a source from the movement. Reports suggest that Sinwar was advised to avoid hostilities after he headed the movement's political office in August. However, he did not want to stay out of the battlefield, he wanted to die in battle. He had been fighting against Israel in the southern Gazan city of Rafah for 18 days and was engaging in a battle with four comrades on the day of his death, a battle that lasted about 2 hours. The source also expressed the opinion that Sinwar was alone at the moment of his death, as other Hamas fighters sought to divert the Israeli military in another direction. He intentionally covered his face when filmed by a drone to avoid artificial intelligence recognition. Sinwar was accused of using hostages as human shields to evade Israeli attacks. A narrative in the media was set against him, yet that didn't dent his popularity among the people in the besieged Gaza. Sinwar kept issuing statements, even in a small piece of land like the Gaza Strip. Sinwar's presence was humiliating for both Israel and the US, given that they wanted him dead so badly and had such a huge military presence in Sinwar's turf, where he was at a disadvantage from a military capacity point of view. Despite the heavy clampdown, Hamas under Yahya Sinwar continued fighting against Israel. The fight was no longer limited to Gaza. Many other Palestinian resistance groups in the West Bank pledged their allegiance to Sinwar and started taking on Israeli forces in the relatively calm West Bank.
I think they were looking for a photo of victory or an image of victory, but Sinwar gave them a different image. And the fact that they distributed the images of his body, which is something that is unacceptable by all terms, has revealed that he was fighting. He was not hiding in a tunnel, as Netanyahu claimed. He was not hiding behind Palestinian civilians, taking them as human shields, as Israeli propaganda used to say. He was not hiding behind Israeli prisoners or captives, as they also claimed. He was fighting. And this image will make him look like a hero for most Palestinians and most Arabs and most people who are against Israeli occupation and against the oppression that Palestinians are subjected to.
As more details surfaced, It turned out that it was Sinwar who laid an ambush on Israeli reservist infantry who were present in the area. The news of Sinwar's death on October 18th was celebrated in Israel and in many Western countries. Soon the IDF released footage of Sinwar in military gear sitting on a sofa, wearing a keffiyeh, while one of his arms was severely injured. Sinwar hurled a stick towards the IDF's drone, his final act of defiance. The video released by Israel backfired on them. The perception of Sinwar hiding behind hostages in a tunnel was shattered by Israel itself, shattering all the lies Israel had created against Sinwar. Sinwar yet again became a ghost to haunt Israel, as many more people now see him as a hero who fought at the front against Israel.
With the death of Sinwar, especially how it happened, because in their eyes, he wasn't hiding in some cave like a rat, like it was called, but that he was actually fighting above ground. And that's going to, I think, become more of a, martyr type figure that more will want to emulate to fight forward. So it could actually have a negative outcome.